Welcome to the channel. Today, our subject of discussion is a very interesting and a very important paint defect, and that is orange peel. It may be called fabbling, poor leveling, poor flow, or a texture, commonly found in automobiles, motorcycles, and scooters painting. The discussion would include photograph and explanation, definition, key factors, causes and countermeasures, repair method, and finally, introduction to the next topic. Here are three photographs, number one, number two, number three, related to the defect orange peel. Paint film having an uneven textures of heavy mottled effect that resembles the skin of an orange. Orange peel can be defined as a defect in which the paint film develops an uneven, dimpled, or a textured appearance that visually resembles the skin of an orange. This occurs when the coating does not flow and level properly during application or drying, leading to irregular surface reflection and poor gloss uniformity. It can be technically explained as the defect arises due to improper atomization of paint, high viscosity, inadequate air pressure, or incorrect spray distance or gun settings. It can also occur if the drying rate is too fast, preventing the paint from leveling before curing. And of course, environmental factors such as high temperature, low humidity, or poor ventilation can also result in this problem. The visual impact surface looks bumped or rippled, affecting gloss and smoothness. Under light, the reflection appears distorted or wavy, indicating poor film uniformity. Coming to the causes and countermeasure. Number one, improper gun adjustment oblique technique. Incorrect air pressure, fan pattern, or excessive spray distance causes droplets to dry mid-air before reaching the surface. That is, low atomization pressure forms large droplets with high surface tension that fail to coalesce into a smooth film. Over distance increases droplets drying time, preventing flow out. Therefore, the countermeasure recommended is use correct gun adjustments, air pressure, and spraying distance to ensure proper atomization. The second important reason could be under reduction that is low air pressure. That is, under reduced paint or too low atomization pressure leads to gauge droplets and poor leveling. It can be explained as insufficient solvent or air pressure causes thick, heavy droplets that cannot flatten due to high internal cohesion forces. Therefore, use proper reduction ratio and spray at recommended air pressure. Coming to the third probable cause, that is extreme shop temperature. That is, excessive ambient temperature causes solvent to evaporate too fast, preventing flow out. That is, elevated temperature accelerates solvent evaporation, increasing viscosity rapidly before film leveling occurs. The recommended countermeasures are schedule painting in controlled temperature ranges and avoid high heat. Number four cause could be improper flash or recoat time. That is, over dry undercoats act as solvent absorbs, preventing the new layer from reflowing. This disrupts in intercoat cohesion and smoothness. Allowing undercoats to dry too long absorb solvent from top coats, restricting leveling. Therefore, follow specified flash and recoat interval as per technical data sheet. The fifth probable cause could be strong or cheap thinner or reducers. That is, fast evaporating or poor quality thinner dries droplets mid-air before leveling. It can be explained as solvent with high volatility reduces coalescence time, droplets land semi-dry, producing micro texture which can be called as orange peel. Therefore, use recommended grade thinner reducer based on shop conditions, that is temperature, humidity, and airflow. Sixth probable cause could be viscosity too high. Paint that is too thick does not flow and level properly after spraying. It can be scientifically explained as high viscosity increases internal friction and surface tension, limiting the self-leveling process of the liquid film. Therefore, recommended countermeasure is reduce to recommended viscosity using the correct thinner or reducer. Seventh probable cause could be improper spray gun setup, that is, incorrect fluid tip, air cap, air cap, or spray pattern produces non-uniform atomization. Its scientific explanation could be poor atomization generates uneven droplet size distribution, causing irregular film flow and variable solvent flash-off rates. Therefore, use recommended equipment setup and adjust gun for balanced spray pattern. Number 8 probable cause could be gun too close or too far. Spraying too close causes rough textures, too far causes dry spray and poor flow. Distance affects droplets velocity and solvent evaporation. Too far is dry spray, too close is turbulent, airflow disrupting surface wetting. Therefore, maintain perpendicular gun angle, proper distance, and overlap during application. Number 9. Too little thinner oblique reducer. Under thinning increases viscosity and reduces atomization quality. That is, inadequate solvent leads to poor atomization, coarse droplet formation, and reduces surface flow out. The recommended countermeasure is thin paint as per manufacturer's ratio using a correct reducer type. Now we come to the 10th probable cause. Surface temperature too high. Hot panel surface accelerates solvent loss and prevents proper film leveling. That is, the high substance temperature creates a temperature gradient that causes flash off of solvents at the surface before leveling is complete. Therefore, cool surface to ambient temperature before painting. Avoid painting over heated panels. 11th probable cause could be improper drying or gun fanning. Fanning air across the wet surface dry paint prematurely before leveling. It can be explained as forced airflow increases solvent evaporation rate, locking the surface before the lower layers have leveled, trapping surface irregularities. Therefore, avoid fanning. Allow actual flow out time before drying. 12th probable cause could be excessive thin or thick film. Heavy wet coats trap solvents. Overly thin coats fail to form a uniform film. This can be explained as excessive film thickness retains solvent pockets that disturb surface tension gradients. Too thin a film lacks fluid mass to flow uniformly. Therefore, apply medium, even coats with correct film build as per specifications. Now we come to 13th important cause that could be low shop temperature. Paint remains viscous and fails to flow evenly. It can be explained as low shop temperature slows solvent release and reduces molecular mobility, hindering leveling and surface smoothness. The recommended countermeasure is maintain recommended booth temperature and ensure proper curing conditions. Regarding orange peel, the 14th important cause could be materials not uniformly mixed. Poor mixing prevents uniform film coalescence and affects leveling. That is, uneven pigment and resin distribution alter surface tension locally, producing irregular leveling and mottled texture. Therefore, the recommended countermeasure is stir all pigmented coatings thoroughly before application. 15th probable cause regarding the paint effect orange peel could be substrate not sanded properly. Rough or uneven surface prevents smooth film leveling. It can be explained as surface irregularities and trapped contaminants disrupt surface tension equilibrium, preventing uniform film formation. Therefore, the recommended countermeasure is sand and clean substrate thoroughly before painting. Now we come to the repair method. There could be different cases of severity. That is, fun case is mild cases. In this case, sand and polish use it using recommended materials and a technique. That is, lightly sand the affected surface using 1200 grit or finer sandpaper. Then compound and polish with a fine polishing compound to restore gloss and smoothness. It can be technically explained as minor orange peels occur when surface irregularities are shallow. Controlled sanding removes surface peaks while while compounding restores surface reflectivity without damaging the underlying film. Now coming to the mild cases, sand and polish using recommended materials and technique. That is, lightly sand the affected surface using 1200 grit or finer wet sandpaper. Then compound and polish with a fine polishing compound, finishing compound to restore gloss and smoothness. this process is affected, let us consider the technical explanation. That is, minor orange peel occurs when surface irregularities are shallow. Controlled sanding removes surface peaks, while compounding restores surface reflectivity without damaging the underlying film. Coming to the severity of moderate cases. In this case, sand, smooth, compound, and polish. If the texture persists, continue sanding uniformly to level the surface. Then compound and polish using a polishing machine and high quality finishing compound. This can be explained as removes more pronounced orange peels by leveling the microsurface undulations. The mechanical finish reflows and burnishes the top layer, improving specular reflection. Coming to the severe cases of orange peel defect, sand down to a smooth surface and refinish. In deep or widespread orange peel, sand through the defective layer to a uniform base and refinish the surface. During refinishing, use a slow evaporating thinner or reducer and maintain correct air pressure for better flow and leveling. That is, the technical explanation is as follows. Deep orange peel indicates film irregularities beyond surface correction. Complete refinishing ensures uniform film build and restore flow characteristics. Using slower thinners improve droplets coalescence and surface leveling during reapplication. Additional recommendations are related to the repair method are as follows. Maintain correct gun distance, air pressure, and temperature during refinishing to prevent recurrence. Always clean the surface thoroughly before sanding or polishing. Avoid over sanding to prevent cutting through the clear coat. Follow paint manufacturer's technical datasheet for grid size, compound type, and a polishing RPM range. With this, we conclude our today's discussion on the subject of paint effect orange peel. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to receive the similar contents in future too. Our next topic of discussion related to paint effect is peeling. Thank you and thank you very much.